Hi, my name is Oscar and I'm a scientist. In this video, we're going to talk about the Visa Bulletin for November 2023. It has just been released in the last hour, so we're going to take a look and see what happens in November. All right, remember that in October, in the month we are right now, the fiscal year for USCIS had changed from fiscal year 2023 into 2024. There had been a lot of hopes from people thinking that dates will advance so much because it's a new fiscal year, so more visa numbers are available. But that just didn't really happen. Okay, so we're going to see if November is the month where things advance, or on the contrary, maybe things will not change that much. Let's take a look. All right, so the first thing I want to show you, as usual, is where you can find this Visa Bulletin. You can Google Visa Bulletin, and this is the first result you're going to see. It's a blue website like this one. Is a .gov website. That means that it's official, directly from the US government, and you should only trust this kind of website when you're looking for critical information like the Visa Bulletin, which really dictates what is the line of people waiting to get a green card and how long you can expect to wait in the coming months. So in this website, you always find the current Visa Bulletin on the left side and the upcoming Visa Bulletin on the right side. So we have October current in the left and November in the right side. So what I did is I opened each of these into two tabs and I scroll down into the employment-based green card category, so we can easily go from one to the next, and we can really easily compare what happens to each one of those. All right, so let's see what happens. All right, so and by the way, I'm skipping all the family categories that show at the beginning of the Visa Bulletin, because in this channel I don't really look at those. I look at employment-based, and the reason is there are two categories in employment-based green cards that you can self-petition. That means that you don't need to have a sponsor, a job offer, and you can even do it without lawyers. And in this channel, I talk about that. I talk about EB2 NIW and I talk about EB1, those two categories where you can self-petition. So there are two tables in the Visa Bulletin always, and table A is called final action dates. This is the one I have in front of you right now. And later there's the table B, or dates for filing. You should know that table A is really the most important table, because this is a table that really defines if there is a visa number available for you. That means that if there is a visa number available for you, you can complete the process. So that would be the best situation for you. If there isn't, that means that you cannot complete the process fully, so you still need to wait at least until the following month. So this is why table A is really the key table, no matter if you are a consular processing applicant applying from abroad, or you are in the US and you are doing an adjustment of status, okay? So table A, I always put a lot of focus on this, and that is the reason. In October, EB1, which is in the first row, had a C for most countries, and a C means current. That is the best situation you can get. It means that you can file an I-140 and an adjustment of status concurrently. Then we had China with February 2022 date, that's a lot of twos, and India with January 2017. So India, people had expected that it would advance way more than it did in October, and it now has about 6 years of backlog, which was not common in the recent past. But for most countries, EB1 is current, so that's the best situation. Let's see what happens in November. So if we switch to November, we see that this row is exactly the same as what October had shown. So no advancements for China, remaining in February 2022. No advancement, unfortunately, for India, January 2017, still those 6 years of backlog. And we still have a current, thank God, we still have current for most countries except China and India. That means that most applicants will have a short trip if you are in EB1, okay? which is good for most people. Not for India, of course. Let's see how things progress, especially when we change to next quarter. Okay, quarters sometimes are significant because there are quotas also per quarter. All right, so what happens with EB2? EB2 is a category that a lot of people watching this channel cares about because EB2 NIW is in this green card category. So we had a date of July 2022 for most countries in the previous Visa Bulletin, and in November, we advanced 1 week. Now, 15th July 2022, is that good or bad? Well, it's good that things advance, so having 15th of July instead of 8th of July is good because the more this date advances, the less wait time you will have. But remember, the way the comparison I give to understand this is like inflation for money. A Visa Bulletin happens once every month. So if the dates don't move at least 1 month, then you're not winning that inflation. Okay, so if 1 month has passed, but dates move less than a month, of course, if they move backwards, they retrogress, that's the worst case. But if they are frozen, that's also bad. And if they advance less than 1 month, you are still not moving enough. So the inflation in terms of economy is eating your money. So here, 1 week is really losing time because 1 month has passed, but you're only moving 1 week. So it's not great, okay? EB2 is slowing down. Maybe no, I'm sure there are too many applicants filing adjustment of status or doing consular processing, so they are being very conservative with the visa numbers that they are giving away. And this is a representation of that, okay? All right, so for most people, 15th July 2022, if you have a priority date earlier than the middle of July 2022, then you may be either called for an interview at an embassy if you are abroad, or you may be given your green card if you have already filed an adjustment of status, all right? What happens with the rest of the countries? Well, no change. So China is still in October 2019 and India is still in January 2012. So no change, not even 1 week. They are frozen. So again, this is really not good news. Mexico, Philippines, they are going again, like in the recent times, they go with the rest of the world. No difference between those columns and the column for all other countries. So I don't spend much time on EB3 and 4, but just a quick look indicates that there's really no big changes or no changes whatsoever, actually. There's no changes for those. Even in the EB5, there's absolutely no change. So not a lot of movements in November green cards. All right, let's see now what happens with Table B, or dates for filing. So one thing that we thought it was good news last month is that USCIS and the Department of State allowed applicants that are in the US filing adjustment of status to use Table B to file the adjustment of status instead of Table A. Table B is usually better. I mean, it has more advantageous dates for, or more days more in the future for applicants. So if they let you use Table B to start your adjustment of status, then you will be able to file earlier. So let's see what happens with Table B, and let's see how you can check if they are allowing to use Table B for filing an adjustment of status. So now I'm in Table B, dates for filing, and this is still October. So if you click on this link, the uscis.gov/Visa Bulletin info, you will open an external link, of course, and here they tell you what charts you have to look at. So for employment base, and here in October they said you must use dates for filing chart, and that's Table B, to file your adjustment of status. Now, for next month, for November, as I'm recording this, there's no information here. I would assume they will allow you to use Table B as well, but that's not a guarantee. So since I don't have this information when I'm recording this video, I'm not going to say one way or the other. But for a second, I would assume that table B will be allowed. But remember, even if they are allowing you to use table B to file adjustment of status, that only means that you can file it, that you can send it to USCIS, but you still won't get a green card until your date is current based on table A, or final action date. That's very important to understand, all right? So what happens with the dates here? So first, employment based green card category, or EB1, which includes EB1A, was current for most people and is still current for most people in the month of November. China and India, similar to table A, there's no changes. They still have August 22 and July 2019 for China and India, respectively. For the second green card, employment-based green card category, we have 1st of January 2023 in October, and the same date, 1st January 2023 in November. That's why I don't think, because the situation is so similar, I don't think they will revert that decision and they will still let you use table B, but you have to go and check yourself, okay? And all the other countries are the same: China, January 20, India, May 2012. So no changes there. I always also tell you to check if there are footnotes. And really, this month, there's no footnote that we should really pay much attention to for EB1A or EB2 NIW. Right, if you like this content, if you like this channel, and you're serious about either EB2 NIW or EB1A, if you want to have one of these green cards where you can self-petition and you don't want to go through lawyers and through any company, then I invite you to visit my website, eb1greencard.info for EB1A or eb2niw.info for EB2 NIW. And I strongly recommend the online courses that I have there. You will get my own petition so you can see how I did it, so you can use it as reference. And there will be plenty of lectures. This is, for example, the curriculum for EB2 NIW Green Card online course. I have right now 9 modules, and each module has different lectures in video, both in English and in Spanish. And I cover the main things that you need to know: requirements, how to meet the requirements, and how to craft each of the documents that you need to put together to submit a good and solid petition to the USCIS. Recently, this month actually, I included a bonus module for adjustment of status, and I also include my sample adjustment of status petition, and a bonus module for consular processing for those of you who are applying from abroad. So it's a great opportunity to get a very comprehensive resource. I hope that this is useful for all of you. I hope to see you in this course. You can submit questions in any of those lectures, and I will be there to answer those questions as soon as I can. So until the next video, I want to thank you again for your attention, for being here, for sharing this video with others, for liking this video, and I will see you in the next video.